capacity crowd of 6,800 on hand for Pittsburgh and Oklahoma. Billy Tubbs in his 9th season as the coach of the Sooners. Here are the starting lineups for Oklahoma. In the front court, Tyrone Jones, a senior, and Mike Bell, another senior, joined by Stacey King back in the starting lineup today. In the backcourt, manning the way is Mookie Blaylock. He leads the nation in steals. He's joined by Terrence Mullins. For Pittsburgh, Paul Evans in his 3rd season as the coach of the Panthers. He starts a lineup of 5 sophomores. Brian Shorter, the team's top scorer and rebounder, joined by Darrell Porter and Bobby Martin up front. In the backcourt, Jason Matthews and Sean Miller. And the Sooners start out right away, putting it up and scoring. Mookie Blaylock.
Jim, they look for the first good shot that they can take, and whether that's 1 pass or 2, they're going to put it up early. Great matchup here. One of the better ball handlers in the country in Miller, and one of the great defenders in Blaylock.
Inside the Shorter, it's blocked by Bell, and Jones has the rebound. He's fouled by Darrell Porter.
To give you an idea of how great shot blocker Bell is, he and King have blocked more shots individually than the entire Pitt Panther team has this entire year. That's his 26th on the season. Shorter's going to have to use a lot of head fakes with him, get him up in the air early.
Inside, they try to go to King. It's knocked away. Here come the Panthers.
Beautiful
Miller back over to Shorter.
Only sophomores, all 3 of those guys, but great ball handling on the break. Great man-to-man. Martin on Stacey King. Great matchup there.
Blaylock last year had the better of the matchup against Sean Miller. Here's the pass inside, intended for King. It's a turnover by Oklahoma.
That's as well as anybody has played Stacey King on defense this entire year that I've seen. Fighting over the top.
Here's the steal forced by Mullins, and Blaylock puts it in.
Hard to go over the top of this press with a great quickness in the back line. There's an example.
Another steal, Stacey King. Reaching in, and Sean Miller. Stacey King missed 3 games with a broken left index finger. It's on his shooting hand. And there you can see the bandaging, a brace. In fact, he'll be wearing that for another 3 to 4 weeks. He says it's like having a corn dog on his finger.
Jim, I think it's absolutely incredible that Stacey can still have the same rotation on the ball and be such an accurate shooter with that finger. I don't know how he's doing it. It's almost another ½ inch farther out than what the rest of the touch of the ball is with his other fingers. Just incredible he has the touch. Look at he holds it away, really shoots without that index finger, which is the key finger in your hand.
And again, Oklahoma will pick up with the full court pressure. Terrence Mullins.
Yep, he didn't get there in time. Boy, dangerous to throw the ball more than, let's say, 15 feet against this press, because Oklahoma at every position has incredible quickness.
This lineup for Pittsburgh featuring 5 sophomores. That's off the foot of Jason Matthews. It's really like having 3 guards in the lineup, though, for the Panthers today with Porter.
That is true. Porter has that ability to play inside and out, but you basically have that same thing, of course, with Davis as far as with Jones as far as Oklahoma's concerned.
Inside the King. He has it blocked by Shorter, but Bell follows. Again, it's Bell. Shorter with the rebound.
Shorter at about 230 pounds. Just a youngster is going to be awesome as he develops here in the Big East.
Shorter back out to Miller, a 3.
Last year against Oklahoma, Miller's first attempt, he threw up an air ball on his first shot and had a rough day.
Right back comes Mullins with the driving layup. Yeah, a year ago at Oklahoma, Miller was 1 for 9, as you mentioned, opening up with an air ball. Never got over that.
As you pointed out, Jim, the 3 fellas here can put the ball on the floor for Pittsburgh, and that really helps against this pressure.
Here's the shooter, Jason Matthews in the lane. Called for steps.
And there's a case where you want to be able to use your left hand a little bit. Matthews had the pump fake with the right hand. If he could have come across that lane with the left, he could have got the shot off.
Turnovers have been the problem this year for Pitt as we see Rod Brookin comes in replacing Jason Matthews. Already 4 turnovers for the Panthers. King working over Martin. Foul on Oklahoma.
Going to be Bell pushing off on the inside. There was a case where Bobby Martin got caught behind Stacey King. Now, if he's going to get pinned back there, he's going to be in trouble. King won't miss many of those. Check out this press. You've got Stacey King and Bell on the back line. Bell fell asleep on that one, but his quickness will intercept that pass normally.
Porter driving on Mullins, and Mullins gets called again. That's his second. Team foul number 3. The AP top 10, Duke winning yesterday, Billy, here on CBS, and Illinois impressively over Michigan.
Jim, I think you're going to see, I don't know if it'll be a change, but you'll see a real narrowing of that gap between 1 and 2 this week, the way Illinois has been playing, and Duke's been somewhat struggling.
Only 2 unbeatens left now. That's the 2 top teams, Duke and Illinois, as we see Porter connect on the first free throw.
Right, with Providence and UC Santa Barbara getting knocked off.
King pulls it down for the Sooners. Blaylock
coming off a solid screen. Beautiful square up by Mookie Blaylock.
Blaylock with 6 points and a 4-point lead for the Sooners.
Nice move against the press.
There's Blaylock with one of his steals.
Was that amazing? Porter looked to his right, and Blaylock came right in behind him.
And he traveled. Sean Miller. Mookie Blaylock leads the nation in steals.
Now you can watch. Porter takes his eye, looks to his right, doesn't realize Blaylock's coming from the backside. He's the best I've ever seen in the collegiate game at stealing the ball.
There's a reach in, a steal by Martin. As the Sooners again tried to force it into Stacey King. That's 3 times they've had difficulty doing that.
Martin doing a very good job on low post defense so far.
Sean Miller calls a timeout for Pittsburgh. 16:38 left in the first half. Oklahoma leads at 12-6.
In 13 cities in 10 countries across the Pacific, they're playing our song. United Airlines Royal Pacific Service, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve, halfway around the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh, yeah.
The Chevrolet Corsica now has an affordable new hatchback, so you can get more into it and more out of it.
Ooh, the heartbeat of America.
Chevrolet. Today's Chevrolet.
How do you figure your financial future? How do you get an advantage? Look for an edge. Look for a company that can sharpen your opportunities in mutual funds, pensions, IRAs, employee benefit plans, insurance, and much more. Look for the Principal Edge from the Principal Financial Group. One of America's largest, helping people with the fine points of their financial future. The Principal. Look for the edge.
Mookie Blaylock with 8 points here in the early going, and the Sooners lead the Pitt Panthers. Sean Miller is the point man for the Panthers, sophomore out of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. He made his basketball television debut on The Tonight Show in 1981 as a schoolboy trickster, but his dream has always been to be a complete player.
I always wanted to be a player, and once I started getting on the Johnny Carson show, it just started getting out of hand, the dribbling and everything, and if I had it my way, I would have just as soon been back playing and with my buddies and working to be a college player.
He's going to need that basketball wizardry today going against Mookie Blaylock.
He will, and he's got to stay straight up with Mookie and keep his body protected at all times, not let him come around from the backside. Notice how Oklahoma overplays. Martin was wide open inside. Brookin didn't hit him.
Rod Brookin called for traveling. That's now the 7th turnover in the first 3.5 minutes of this game for Paul Evans' Pitt Panthers.
I think when you're playing against an Oklahoma, you better hit the first 3 man you see and not try to freeze up with the ball.
Tyrone Jones with a 3. And And it's knocked away out of bounds. Remains Oklahoma's basketball.
Shorter's listed an inch taller than Bell, but as we've noticed, Bell's got the wingspan of a guy 7'1", and Shorter was right with him on that one.
Jones puts up another three.
Not bashful, is he? Great outside shooter, not hitting as yet.
Brookin gets the rebound. Miller, cross court, too high for Martin.
Not a bad idea. Even though the pass went over his head, it was a pretty good idea.
Terrence Mullins now with the basketball, coming off a career-high 27 points against Nebraska on Monday. Into King for the basket. Oklahoma now with an 8-point lead, picking up full court.
Paul Evans wanting travel on that, but it was a great head fake.
In the lane, it's Porter. High off the glass. Darrell Porter.
Martin and King inside, really something fun to watch. Martin doing a great job getting in front of him. Referee's doing a good job not calling a lot of holding in there either.
Inside the King, he has the position and the basket. 6 points for King.
It's really nice to watch that three-man passing game of Oklahoma. It gives Stacey King room to maneuver inside. Blaylock again.
Double team steal, Blaylock. And just like that, it's a 10-point lead. Blaylock with 10 points on his own.
Boy, it's like being at a picnic with a bunch of gnats around you. You just can't get him away.
Porter swatted away. Mike Bell with his second rejection.
Now there's a case where Porter wasn't even worried about Bell defensively. Bell came from the other side of the lane. You'll see it right here. Porter's eyes, of course, were right on Jones. And here comes Bell across the lane. Great block. No goaltend. They've got to go inside some.
Pitt Panthers 7-6 on the year. They did knock off number 3 Syracuse a week ago. Into Shorter. Back to Porter. He'll take the jumper. Offensive rebound, Bobby Martin. Rod Brookin, it's a 2.
Well, that was a key shot. They've got to get somebody like Brookin or Porter to hit a few from medium range to keep Oklahoma honest.
It's a foul on Mike Bell, his second. 4th team foul on the Sooners. And they bring in Andre Wiley. They call him the creator. Wiley will replace Mike Bell. I'll never forget last year in Kansas City at the Final Four on that Friday practice. Andre Wiley put on a dunking exhibition like I've never seen.
And then never got in the game.
There's the rebound for Jones.
And here's where Pitt's inexperience starting to tell a little bit. They're trying to do everything from the perimeter. They've got to go inside to Martin some to keep Stacey King honest.
Being double teamed, and Brookin comes in for the steal, but called for the foul.
That's a good help by Brookin coming across. You've got to help out either with Shorter or Brookin on Stacey King. Martin's doing a great job inside, but King is just so good at posting up low. Brookin, of course, ineligible at our very game here last year. He started his ineligibility against Florida. Reported this year at 265 pounds, down now to about 225.
Mullins on the jumper. Rebound by Porter.
Well, look at how good that defensive transition is by Oklahoma. There's the play.
Martin with the left hand.
They've got to go inside to Martin.
First 2 of the game for Bobby Martin. Andre Wiley, he'll take the shot. Up by Porter. Got a 3-on-1. Shorter will take it.
He eyed Mullins and felt he could go right over him. Good move by Shorter. Mullins probably should have moved his feet a little bit to try to draw the charge.
Luki Blaylock.
Oh, what a sensational play.
Billy, he is now 6 for 6 from the floor.
A sensational performer. That one was without the dribble. He just bounced right up in the air.
How about the way Pitt's now breaking the press?
Well, they're doing a better job breaking the press, but what it's going to do, Jim, they're not a deep team at all. And it's going to wear them down to play at this type of pace. That was a walk.
Not going to be called traveling. It's a foul instead against the Sooners.
You can see already, even though this is a young club, they're playing against a more experienced, more physical, much deeper team, and the pace of this game is really has to please Billy Tubbs. And I think that you're going to have, if you're Pitt, beat the press, then get into your half-court offense, kind of delay a little bit, go inside some. This pace is much too fast for him.
Ryan Shorter missing the first free throw after the foul on Andre Wiley.
67% free throw shooter. Left his senior season in Philadelphia at Simon Gratz, where if he'd have stayed, more than likely he would have become the all-time high school scorer in Philadelphia history, beating the great Wilt Chamberlain's records.
Terrence Mullins. Over the backboard, Pittsburgh's basketball.
That is a tough shot to make without the dribble. And what you have to be impressed with the great outside shooters that Oklahoma has is how well they square up to the ball.
Again, the Panthers break the press. Brookin now has to watch out for the 5 count. Porter will drive on Mullins. Great pass to Shorter.
Wiley trying to come over to help out for the block. Shorter did a great job leaving some space for the pass.
7 points for Shorter. It's a 5-point Oklahoma lead. 12:30 left in the first half.
Great play.
Porter out in front.
But Bobby Martin is playing so well defensively on Stacey King with just a little help that time by Shorter. They were able to pick things off.
It's 9-2 run for the Panthers, and how about the pass from Porter just a moment ago?
Right, you can see Wiley was really on Shorter, and Wiley comes over to help out. Now, instead of Shorter coming too close to the pass, he stayed a decent distance so he can handle that bounce pass nicely. Well played.
Foul on Bobby Martin, the Sooners inbound, leading 20-17.
Pitt goes 2-3 in the zone out of bounds, and Mookie Blaylock just won't let up.
7 for 7. That was a 3-pointer. 15 points, 2 steals for Mookie Blaylock. 8 minutes into the game.
Martin wanting that ball.
Left-handed shot, follow up by Shorter.
You know what's happening right now, Jim? Every time there's penetration, Oklahoma's going for the block instead of playing solid.
Jones with a 3. That's
got fouled. He got fouled.
Out in front is Brookin. And foul.
But he's lucky he wasn't weighing 265 on that one, because he did get down the floor fairly well. Brookin, here we're going to see there's a foul on the arm on that shot, and that's why it was so far off. Brookin does a good job getting out quickly on the break.
How about the way he uses the body here, Billy?
Exactly. I said if he was 265, it probably wouldn't have worked, but at 230, he shields very well.
Brookin can bring the Panthers within 1.
Brookin was an all-Big East freshman. Had a very solid freshman year, even with that experienced pass that Pitt had.
There's a timeout on the floor. Billy Tubbs' lead is down to 1.
If you want to land a good job, you have to know what most employers want. Like how to motivate yourself, how to lead others, how to perform under pressure. You can learn all these things in the Army. So no matter what career you choose, you'll really be ready to take off.
Wow.
What you eating, babe?
Nothing, honey.
Oh, you can tell me.
Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch.
Looks good, Private. What is it?
Nothing, honey.
Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch.
When you've got the special taste of nuts and honey all wrapped up in a hearty crunch, what more can you say? Here's what. New Nut and Honey Crunch biscuits. Crunchy biscuits of wholesome shredded wheat with that special nut and honey taste inside.
Wow.
Kellogg's Nut and Honey.
Now in biscuits, too.
Crunch.
One card lets you call from anywhere in your calling area to virtually anywhere in the world and pay the same as if you were calling from your desk. So now you can have the biggest office in town because the town is your office. The MCI card. It is America's business card.
Surprise. Here's the tickets for your honeymoon.
Oh, Dad, you shouldn't have.
And we're going with you.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Northwest frequent flyers earn free trips fast, so you can give them away or go away or both.
They're all guts. They're all glory. They're all Madden. John Madden picks his Players of the Year. Plus the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Next.
So we'll look forward to the All-Madden team later today here on CBS. But how about the All-Nantz and the All-Packer team? College basketball players who excelled in the NFL. My coach, Billy, is George Hallis, Bob Greasy, and Sammy Baugh. Yes, they played college basketball, went on to stardom in football. How about Paul Hornung, Jim Brown? As we got a steal here by the Panthers. Miller misses the three. Here comes Oklahoma.
How about that look ahead by Mookie Blaylock?
Stacey King with the lay-in. We're going to get to the All-Packer team a little later on.
Your guys were from the Hall of Fame. My guys are kind of like the Madden style. We'll have to take a look at them. By the way, they don't ride in his bus either. They're limo-type guys. Mookie Blaylock having a career-type game.
All right, here's the All-Packer team. Now, this is the team that will ride in a limo.
These are legitimate players. Ron Whitby, Tennessee, great. Cornell Green, outstanding. Ron Kramer is my center. Terry Baker made it to the Final Four and won a Heisman. Bud Grant, one of the all-time great athletes in the Big Ten. Now, my coach is Gene Cady. He didn't play college basketball. He played pro football. And then, of course, he's a great college coach. And my manager, William the Fridge Perry. He can haul the baggage. He can take care of the training table, and he can dunk. So that's the kind of club that Madden would pick out, and I have to go with him today.
All-Packer team. And All-Madden team coming up later. You know, Sam Clancy, former Pitt star, wasn't on your team.
Yeah, that was a push. That was a push. I had such good forwards, but Sam was a great player here at Pittsburgh. Did not play college football. Was playing so well now in the NFL.
Shorter's 2 free throws. Brings it back down to a 1-point lead again for Oklahoma.
Good help.
Stolen away by the Panthers. Bobby Martin.
You cannot play interior post defense any better than that. Martin's getting tired now. But a great help.
Brookin, double team. Makes the move and gets the foul. Shorter and King, what a battle for position on the Oklahoma end of the
Well, it is,
court.
and a good move by Paul Evans to get Martin off him a little bit. Even in that zone, you can see that Shorter and Martin have done a very good job fronting whatever possible and then getting good weak side help.
They got a technical foul on Billy Tubbs. And all ACC officiating crew today, and Billy Tubbs has been hit with a technical.
That's a 2-shot technical. I thought Billy was great yesterday, and a lot of things he says is tongue-in-cheek. He said, Billy, make sure that none of our prospects see the inside of this gym tomorrow when we play. I don't want to let them know we play in places like this. He's hot.
Brookin misses the first. Brookin, the junior, out of Steelton, Pennsylvania.
This is a good blow also for Pitt because Martin was getting a little tired in there with all the defense he'd had to put on Stacey King.
And Sean Miller will shoot the technical free throws.
And the ball out of bounds.
Pitt has its first lead, a 1-point lead, and one more free throw plus the ball.
You can have potentially a 4 plus a 3-point shot. Could have been a 7-point play. They still can get 6 out of this possession.
Pitt's first lead of the afternoon. Tony Martin has come in for the Sooners. As has Skeeter Henry. Into Shorter.
Pitt has decided now that that inside-outside game is working. It's a much better theory than what they started the game with, which was strictly a perimeter shooting game.
And a steal. Brookin.
The big man went off the floor on that one.
Rod Brookin with 6 points, and it's a 6-point Pitt lead. Skeeter Henry off the glass. The big man can move, Billy.
Yes, he can. Good job all the way around. Great overplay. Brookin with good anticipation. That pass almost totally half-court, cross-court will get you in trouble. And look at Brookin with the overhead stuff.
Foul on Bobby Martin, his second.
That puts Paul Evans in some problems. He can't afford to get the third one on him so early here in the half, and I would think he'd go to the bench to both rest him and keep him out of further foul trouble. And if you're Billy Tubbs, you want to go down to Stacey King right away. Get Martin's third on him.
Skeeter Henry shooting a second free throw, transfer from Midland Junior College as well. And Mullins will come in replacing Henry. Terrence Mullins, he was the only player to come off the bench last year in the championship game.
Good fake. Martin. And a foul, but they don't call it on Bell. Great play by Martin. He caught Stacey King asleep.
Ricky Blaylock's first miss. Out in front is Brookin. 2-on-2. What a spin move.
Oh, bad call.
They're going to take it away.
Oh, I don't like that one.
Disregard the basket.
Brookin, this is a great play by Brookin. He makes the reverse, puts it up. The ball is gone before he makes contact. You know, you've got it. Paul Evans got on this crowd a little bit last couple of weeks saying they weren't into the game, but today the people in Pittsburgh are alive.
Their Panthers are on a 25-9 run. Steal by Shorter.
I'm really impressed by Shorter's ability inside to help out Martin on Stacey King. That's the second genuine steal he's made, plus a number of times he's altered the pass.
Brookin will take the jumper.
Good
Martin runs it down. Brookin again. Bell's third block. Out in front is Blaylock. And a foul on Sean Miller. Jim Nantz along with Billy Packer from the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse on the Pitt campus. And the 7-6 Pitt Panthers lead third-ranked Oklahoma behind a 25-9 run by the Panthers. They trailed by 10 early.
And Jim, you mentioned how Oklahoma got to the Final Four last year. It was Pitt that almost had a chance to get there, but Barry Goheen, remember that play last year? He hit the three, and how about him yesterday? Did the same thing for Vanderbilt. Hit the three where they came up with a big win against Georgia.
Goheen is not a favorite name around here, but what a shot yesterday.
And here's Porter coming into the game. He was the man that Paul Evans said should have followed Goheen on that play that was the big upset for Vandy in the tournament.
Porter comes in for Brookin. Blaylock connects on both. He has 17 points for the Sooners, who again pick up with their full court pressure.
This time Martin comes to the ball instead of breaking long, but you can see Pittsburgh's going long.
Matthews, followed by Martin.
Martin out hustles Stacey King second time.
Matthews was driving in on Mike Bell, the man who's already blocked 3 shots, but Martin came up with the follow.
They should go inside to Stacey King, try to pick up that third foul right now on Martin, who's very tired, bound to get out of position. Here's King, he's isolated. Good move.
Stacey King. King with 10 points. It's now 39 straight games he's been in double figures.
Good clear out now for Miller on Blaylock. This will be fun to watch.
8 minutes left in the first half. A 4-point Pitt lead.
Stacey King can go out there and play somebody too. You know, there were the days when people said Billy Tubbs couldn't coach defense. If you watch this club play person to person, I guarantee you know they play some defense.
Inside Shorter. Nice fake, and he gets a foul. Draws the foul.
Stacey King has Martin in a bad situation right behind him now. There's a clear out which takes Shorter away so that he's not there to help on the backside in time. Good play by Oklahoma, and they ought to keep going in that direction.
It's a second foul on Stacey King, and the Sooners bring in Skeeter Henry replacing Tyrone Jones. Shorter will shoot 2.
Remember the first shot that Shorter took today, Jim? He went right at Bell without any pump fake, got the shot blocked away. The last few times he's been down there getting him off the ground, then using his power inside to get the shot.
Pittsburgh leading by 6 over third-ranked Oklahoma.
The AT&T Pebble Beach National Pro-Am in 2 weeks on CBS Sports.
See you later, baby. We're out of here. Gearing up, getting going. Gas! Right here, gonna hang loose, lighten up, get out of town. The silver bullet won't slow you down. So come on into Coors Light. It's right there now.
A good time is where you find it, and the last thing you want to do is slow it down. So come on into Coors Light, a great light beer for a good long time.
Listen to the heartbeat. Well, of America, my friend. It's the rhythm of the road. It's the awesome street. A city, a town, magic sound. Oh, the heartbeat of America. Chevrolet. That's today's Chevrolet. Wow. You ought to listen.
Mom, send $500 soon, or there won't be a honeymoon.
I'm calling about your son, Jerome. Better send money. He wants to go home.
早く送ってくれないか。スピード違反でパクられた。
To send someone money fast, come to Western Union. We'll make sure it gets to any of our 10,000 locations, usually in 15 minutes or less.
Sayonara.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
The Pitt Panthers have turned it around early. They trailed 18-8. But now have gone on a 29-13 run, and here's the game summary. 59% from the field. Pitt has outscored the Sooners 14-4 on fast break points. Mookie Blaylock has been the offensive star, though, of the game. 17 points. In fact, you combine Blaylock and King, they have 27 of the Sooners' 31 points.
Jim, the key to the game so far to me is the way that Pitt has aggressively attacked that zone, or that man-to-man press. They've really turned it into their offense, which is normally begins Oklahoma's offense.
Tony Martin in the game for the Sooners. He takes the outside jumper. Rebound, Jason Matthews. All 5 players on the court, sophomores for the Pittsburgh University. And underneath.
Yep, good call. Shorter just using some strong arm inside and handles Martin. This kid is a force. Watch Martin trying to get around him. Now watch what Shorter's able to do with him from a power standpoint. Just pushes him away.
Shorter will have a 1-on-1. 5 for 6 from the line today. He has 16 points. He averages 17.
At 26 points, 20 rebounds against Northwestern. Made the Fiesta Bowl team, all tournament club, and he is just destined to be an outstanding star.
That win against Northwestern gave Paul Evans 300 on his career 2 weeks ago.
If he hits that, oh, amazing.
Mookie with his second 3 of the afternoon. He now has 20 points, and it's a 4-point lead for Pittsburgh. Just under 7 minutes left in the first half.
Smart move here by Paul Evans to let Porter bring it up, freeing Miller a little bit.
They call him for a 5 count, Billy.
Well,
5 seconds.
Yeah, now Paul Evans thought that he broke the plane, but evidently not.
Near the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game for each team, and in their honor, Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. That's coming up a little bit later this afternoon. Sooners now cut the lead to 2. Off the foot of Porter.
The Sooners are usually in a position to be much more athletic than their opponents, but with a guy like Porter, that's not the case.
Brookin comes in, replacing Jason Matthews, and Pat Cavanaugh will come in. Sean Miller will get a breather. Cavanaugh, a junior out of Grove City, Pennsylvania. He's the team captain.
A walk-on in both football and basketball, and made both of the teams when he attempted. And he's the guy to put that little cut in Miller's eye with an elbow.
Blaylock almost gets the bounce. They're going to call a foul on Stacey King. That's his 3rd, Billy. He was fighting for position with Darrell Porter.
Now he's going to have to come out of there with 3 now, and I really think that was a big break for Paul Evans. Oklahoma did not go into Stacey King to get Martin his third. And now here's a good chance for Paul Evans to be able maybe to rest Martin a little bit and stay out of that third foul, get out of that third foul, because Bell is not the offensive threat, obviously, that Stacey King is.
Porter misses on the front end of the one-on-one, but rebounded by Brookin. Mike Bell is in replacing Stacey King. Martin stays in the game, Billy. Porter on the drive. Shorter will go back to the line.
Bell tried to come across the lane. Shorter again showed how powerful he is.
That is the third on Mike Bell.
Yep. So Billy Tubbs' club gets small in a hurry. Still very athletic, still very quick. But he loses his two tallest players out there, Bell and King, both with 3 fouls on them.
Tubbs sends in Andre Wiley for Mike Bell. Two-shot situation for Brian Shorter.
I think this would really be a smart time to get Martin out of the ball game. Maybe beating a dead horse there, but you don't have the offensive punch, and Pittsburgh would be big enough to handle Oklahoma.
Brian Shorter, and it's a 6-point lead after the 2 free throws by Shorter. And even 6 minutes left in the contest.
Double low post that time by Oklahoma.
Mullins with the 3. Terrence Mullins.
Boy, do they extend the defense. Porter was on him. That shot was about 3 feet past the 3-point line.
Now with Miller out of the game, Porter bringing the ball up. Pat Cavanaugh will be carrying the load as well on that press. Porter fires. Rebound, Tony Martin of Oklahoma.
Mullins will take it all the way to the hoop.
Martin to the top of the key. Down with the rebound, Rod Brookin, and he is knocked to the floor by Skeeter Henry.
And Brookin is having a great first half. He's anticipated well defensively. If Porter comes out, Matthews in, so Paul Evans is just rotating his backcourt.
Coming up next on CBS Sports Sunday, the Budweiser Boxing Series continues on CBS. Frankie Warren defends his USBA Junior Welterweight title and takes on Mickey Ward live from Atlantic City, plus the All-Madden football team. Number 5, team number 5. Brookin hits the free throw. Following Sports Sunday, it's the NBA on CBS. The Boston Celtics face the Chicago Bulls. Busy afternoon here today. Sit back and enjoy on CBS Sports.
Celtics still struggling a little bit, and Michael Jordan continues to be the greatest player on earth in terms of what he does when he goes into the gymnasium.
Rod Brookin gets the lead at 5, and a foul on Pat Cavanaugh.
Cavanaugh, a hard-nosed ball player, but tried to stay with Mookie Blaylock. That's a tough assignment.
At age 10, he won the punt, pass, and kick contest at Cleveland Stadium before 65,000 or 85,000, I should say. Porter goes out. Or Porter comes in. Darrell Porter. Now it's Porter, Brookin, Cavanaugh, Shorter, and Matthews. So 2 of the starters on the bench. Martin and Miller sitting down. Blaylock has 21 points for the Sooners.
I think that, as I was saying, and I'm glad I didn't beat a dead horse, it was a good time to take Martin out. You've got a lead. He needs a rest. You don't want him in any further foul trouble. You take the calculated gamble here that you can stay in it the rest of the half.
Really, it's been a long time since Oklahoma was forced to turnover off that press, and this time they just slack off.
Well, now you have basically 4 pretty solid ball handlers in the game for Pitt. Even with Sean Miller out of the game, Oklahoma goes zone. This kind of helps Pitt a little bit, in my opinion.
Jason Matthews, he's had a couple of 30-point games this year.
A lot of time. They're panicked a little bit. They still have 20 seconds.
Inside to Brookin. Oh, what a play. Rod Brookin.
See, with this small a team on the floor, Jim, for Pittsburgh, and Oklahoma going into the zone, Pittsburgh can surround the zone with 4 pretty good ball handlers and then finally go inside and use up some clock. Brookin just so wide and so powerful, and they're able to get the shot off. We ought to point out also that Billy Tubbs is suffering a little bit at Oklahoma because his size is out of the game right now. I would have thought he'd play more aggressive man-to-man with this small team on the floor.
Brookin with 11 points, and it's a 6-point Panther lead. Blaylock chased down by Porter, and it's Oklahoma's basketball. It was off Porter.
Nice piece of officiating there, and that's where a crew of 3 men are able to get on the spot, as it did hit Porter right in the chest on the way up.
And a technical on Paul Evans.
That was an even-up call. Billy Tubbs laughing, and Paul Evans ought to be hot. Boy, that was an even-upper.
One on Tubbs early in the game, now one on Evans. Blaylock will shoot the technical.
Well, you don't want that one either, because again, you've got an opportunity for Mookie to hit the 2, get the ball out of bounds, and really tighten this game up. And Paul Evans better take it easy now, because he could get another one. He is hot on the sidelines.
Oklahoma will inbound at midcourt. This Oklahoma team had scored over 100 points 9 consecutive games, but not in their last 2. Henry. Oh, I thought he might have walked. It's called on Porter. Now at the other end, little hold here.
Yeah, well, he just got a little grab of it. Not too bad. Just trying to go ahead and get a little spacing with him.
Oklahoma is 10 for 10 from the line.
Both teams fairly solid off the line. Not great. Push around that 70% mark as a team.
Brookin tips it to Porter.
Paul Evans getting a chance to rest Martin and Sean Miller, which is going to really help him in the second half.
Matthews from the wing. That's a 3. Jason Matthews, 6'3" sophomore out of Los Angeles. That's his first 3 of the game. He averages 17 a contest. Blaylock baseline. This is the easy one. Picked up by Brookin. What a pass. 2-on-1. And here's Shorter missing the dunk, but a foul is called on Oklahoma. Tony Martin.
Now Shorter is down, probably taking a little rest for himself here. He has not been out of the ball game. He and Blaylock have been the 2 warriors in this game. Great dish off. Shorter really hustling there. Got banged in the head. Didn't make the basket. They'll go to the line for 2. Now what's happening to Oklahoma? Every time Mookie Blaylock goes inside, nobody comes back for defensive balance, and Pitt really taking advantage of it. Martin actually hit 2 players on this play. Watch. He's going to get Shorter, and then he's going to go over and get Jason Matthews on the way down. They put down 2 and 1. Fortunately, nobody hurt.
Clobbered him right on the top of the head. Shorter. This will be his 12th free throw attempt of the first half.
And Jim, you know, that was a good example. Players that go to the hoop that keep their head up usually are able to finish off drives. Guys that drop their head, in this case it was knocked away, have a hard time completing.
Oklahoma trailing by 8.
Take the first step toward a whole new future. During Century 21 Career Opportunity Week. At our career sessions, you'll find out why we're #1 and how our training and innovative support programs could make you #1. The right place is Century 21. The right time is now. Call your local Century 21 office today.
Career Opportunity Week, January 16th through the 22nd.
Big ball game tonight. Come on, move. Stick the ball in the goal. Go! Shot!
If this is what Wally Massimino is going through on the outside, you can guess what's happening inside. So if a big game follows a big meal, he reaches for relief. Rolaids and acid. For millions, nothing, absolutely nothing works better for heartburn and acid indigestion. And Raleigh can keep up his buttoned-down image. Get relief. You know how to spell it.
You know we're gonna be there Service is part of our name. We're a part of your country, a part of your town, and no one else does it the same. We deliver, we deliver. It's the reason you trust us. You know that we're gonna come through. We're your postal service. We deliver for you. We deliver for you.
For one man, gravity is no problem. The Celtics battle the Bulls today.
Pat O'Brien here in New York City, where shortly we'll bring you the road to the Final Four. And at halftime today, we'll bring you up to date on the controversy surrounding the NCAA's ruling on athletes and academics. And we'll see how Georgetown's John Thompson protested will have reaction. That and more as the road to the Final Four rolls along today from New York City. Let's go back to Jim and Billy.
Under 4 minutes left in the first half, and the Pitt Panthers pulling off a surprise to this point. 50-42 lead over number 3 Oklahoma.
Look at this full court man-to-man pressure.
Kavanaugh with the steal, blocked away by Mullins. He was the only man back there. Back the other way comes Oklahoma. Blaylock has it blocked by Matthews. Blaylock again. Underneath Wiley, and a foul on Porter, I believe. Pressure by Pitt coming out of the timeout.
I tell you, there's that old saying that teams that press don't like to be pressed. That's been the case here today. Kavanaugh tries to take it up. Mullins shows what a superior leaper he is to block the ball, but Pitt doing a good job on their full court man-to-man pressure with that trap in the backcourt.
Tony Martin goes out of the game. Mike Bell replaces him, and in comes Tyrone Jones for Skeeter Henry. Andre Wiley's at the line for Oklahoma.
Tyrone Jones has been very quiet in this game. We've got 3 minutes to go and a half. I think you're going to see him put up some threes. They need to get another scorer other than Blaylock on the court right now, particularly with King out of there.
They've got a scoring lift several times this season from different players. Wiley one game contributed 29. That was last week against Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
Well, they've had 6 guys score over 20 in a game, and here we go long again.
To Brookin. Brookin will put it up over Bell. Shorter. Brookin again, swatted away by Bell. Here's Kavanaugh. Finally taken away by Blaylock.
Look at that ball hand. That was, yep. Jason Matthews punted it. Paul Evans wanting Kavanaugh to be a little bit more careful with the ball. He's tried to put one up. What Pitt wants right now with this much time left, just good possession of the ball. They don't have to go ahead and get in a run-shoot game the rest of the way.
How about that statistic? Front court scoring, 42-14 for Pitt.
Kavanaugh a little frustrated here, throwing an elbow.
That's the second foul on Kavanaugh.
He tried to help out on Bell, grabbed with the arm. Bell goes to the line.
We're 1-1 for Mike Bell. He's the man who replaced Stacey King at the center spot for 3 games.
He's Stacey's roommate in college. Had 8 blocks in 1 game.
Wiley. Wiley with 3 points. And it's a 5-point Pitt lead with 2:45 left in the first half.
Not the play. Good hustle by.
Traveling called on Kavanaugh as the ball was pinned to the floor.
They're really making a mistake with Kavanaugh going against Blaylock's. Kavanaugh ought to clear out and give the ball to somebody else. Look at Mookie attack. Kavanaugh goes down with it, gets called for charging. Back comes Sean Miller, but he's rested. I mean, get called for walking.
So Miller does come in for Kavanaugh. Stacey King has been resting since picking up his 3rd foul. Mullins misses the 3, and Shorter runs it down for the Panthers.
I don't know how many rebounds they're going to give Shorter in this half, but he's had his hands on the ball every time it goes inside.
Brookin inside. What a lift he has been. Rob Brookin. That's his 13th point of the game.
Well, you could almost call him a 6th starter, although he didn't start here today. You know, he's going to get multiple minutes.
Mookie Blaylock answers at the other end for Oklahoma. 2 minutes left in the first half. 5-point lead for Pitt. Good ball fake. Porter Tries to force it inside. Blaylock out in front. Working on Miller. And Matthews over the back of Tyrone Jones. That's the first on Jason Matthews.
No, Jim, not only is Brookin having a good game statistically, but he's doing a lot of smart things out there. He came down and was going to try to block that shot, realized when he was in the air that it would be goaltending, and pulled his hand away. Just an excellent performance here today.
Kermit Holmes checks in for Oklahoma. Tyrone Jones has been held scoreless. You said they needed some points out of him. No points here in the first half.
Foul shot would help him get on track, but he just can't do anything.
Holmes comes right in, misses on the follow. Porter underneath to Matthews. Good block. Blocked by Holmes. And Pitt will bring it inbound.
When Matthews took the calculated gamble that Holmes would not go for the block on this play, he could have just laid it up easily, but watch how well Holmes plays this. He holds his ground, then Matthews comes right back to him.
These two teams met in the NCAA tournament 1987 out of the West. Oklahoma won that one 96-93. And they met last year in the regular season at Norman. Oklahoma winning again by 3, 86-83.
Good passing.
That's a 3 by Porter. Rebounds by Holmes.
Holmes wears Sherlock on his warm-up jersey when they come out to shoot around.
Try to get it to Bell. Tipped around, Bell has it.
Well, how about that arm span?
Playing with 3 fouls, Bell is back in there and scores the basket.
That's a good coaching move by Billy Tubbs. He realized he was too small. You don't want to waste Stacey King picking up a fourth, so he went with Bell.
Matthews working on Mullins.
Brookin playing on the high post. They get a double low down on the side. It's their basic offensive set.
30 seconds left in the first half. Porter on the drive was fouled. Fouled by Tyrone Jones. That's the third on Jones now. So 3 players from Oklahoma. Jones, Bell, and King with 3 fouls.
Well, it doesn't hurt them so much when they get those wing-type players in trouble. But Stacey King and Bell, it's important that one of those two be sitting there with an opportunity to go through the full second half.
Paul Evans brings Kavanaugh back in, Billy, for Sean Miller.
I think one of the things that he's wanting to do there is he knows in the second half Mookie Blaylock is not going to wear down. Sean Miller, he needs to have fresh in that second half to handle the ball.
Terrell Porter connects on the front end of the 1-on-1. Rebound by Shorter. Pitt can hold for the final shot of the half.
And Jim, Mookie Blaylock this first half has set a new Fieldhouse record for first half points ever in this gym. Plus he's doing it on the defensive end as well. Brookin coming out to help out. Here's that basic set again.
Inside to Shorter. Up and over Bell. Blaylock at the buzzer. And it's a 6-point lead for Pittsburgh. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Pitt Panthers 55, the Oklahoma Sooners 49. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
It's sizzling hot. It's the best pizza deal you can cut. A deal that isn't skimpy. This one has real meat to it. 6 meat toppings and a blend of cheeses. Pizza Hut's new Meat Lovers Pizza. Now get one medium for $8.99. Better yet, get a second one for just $4 more. So hurry. It's a limited time offer.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
We're back with another test of Chevy versus Ford. And this one you can do at home. Just load both trucks with eggs, then lower something heavy down on them. You'll see that Chevy has these notches that let you do double-deck loading. You'll see that Ford doesn't have any notches. That's why we've had a change of heart about pickups. With Ford, you can bring home the bacon. With Chevy, you can bring home the bacon and the eggs.
The heartbeat of America. That's the day Chevy truck.
Nantz Nancy was not a power behind the throne in the sense of persuading me to do things.
But woe betide anyone who tried to...
And run, Ronnie.
This is CBS.
So there's Richie, my twin brother, taking my place at the game. I was cramming for finals, and he only had to warm the bench, like I do. No one can tell us apart.
Oh, you guys, I can always tell just by the sound of your voice.
The color in a voice.
Yeah, but the coach couldn't tell.
The texture of a phrase.
He can now.
That's the uncompromising sound clarity of AT&T. We take you right there and keep you this close.
Walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can do the snowman. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire.
With flights to 14 Florida cities and the Bahamas, Piedmont can change all your ideas about winter.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
Channel 2 remembers Martin Luther King.
And a high-scoring shootout in Pittsburgh as Pittsburgh leads Oklahoma, an upset in the making, 55-49. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien in New York City. Welcome to the Road to the Final Four halftime report, a road that today has a bump in it, as college administrators and coaches have renewed the debate over just who will be eligible to participate in sports. Now, the debate is over a proposition the NCAA approved last week that would toughen academic standards for incoming freshmen. In short, to get an athletic scholarship, you must achieve a certain level on the SATs and maintain at least a C average 2-point. By now, you know that Georgetown coach John Thompson dislikes this new rule so much that to call attention to it, he walked out of his game last night. Thompson feels that the new rule would deny certain black athletes the opportunity of the college experience. As he left the floor last night before Georgetown's game with Boston College, Thompson received a standing ovation. The game, which at this point became an afterthought, was won by the Hoyas. Meantime, Thompson did indeed make his point, and reaction was swift as he drove into the night. Now, after last night's walkout, we contacted coaches and administrators in college sports, and here's a sampling, beginning with SEC Commissioner Harvey Schiller, whose conference first sponsored this legislation.
He's bringing a lot of issues to the fore that I think are relevant. Perhaps we should look at student athletes for the great deal of talent they have, similar to the way we look at people that have special gifts in the arts and music, and recognize them for that.
Many of the people that voted they'd have to go look up the word ghetto. They've not been there. So any athletic director, any faculty representative, any president, or any chancellor that voted this down to lift others up, they should be ashamed of themselves.
The one thing that they have done with Proposition 48, I think, is make it tougher on kids, and by making it tougher on kids, you make them work to be better students. But the thing that people in athletics and college have to understand is that college just isn't for everybody.
I think if it's that important a piece of legislation, we have to have even greater dialogue about it. And I didn't sense that there was that dialogue. I sensed that there were people who were in favor of it felt there was a loophole in 48, and they needed to cover that loophole. And instead of covering loopholes, let's look what's best for the student athlete.
What's most important to consider is that this legislation doesn't really take effect until after 1990. And all of these issues that are brought to the fore will create some debate and discussion, and hopefully we'll come up with the best ideas about it and the best solutions for it.
And as Harvey Schiller points out, all of this could be moot because the rule does not even go into effect until August of 1990. And between now and then, there's another NCAA convention where the rule could be changed or indeed killed. And joining us live right now from Pittsburgh is Billy Packer, who is an informed observer of the NCAA. Billy, why the outcry now? I mean, the colleges were notified of the proposal 45 days before the convention. Why do we hear so much about it right now?
Well, first of all, the coaching community, Pat, never would have anticipated this type of vote. As a matter of fact, initially they voted down this proposal and then a day later overruled their own vote. I think that most people felt that there would be some leniency shown at this convention, and it caught everybody by surprise, including Dick Schultz, who's the executive director of the NCAA.
Billy, some people would say with the world becoming more competitive, what's wrong with raising the standards and challenging our student athletes?
Well, here's where I disagree with John Chaney. I do not think the NCAA is a racist organization, but I think the facts show that this type of interpretation of the rules really has an imbalance from a standpoint of racial inequality. And I think that is something that has to be looked at very seriously. I applaud John Chaney and John Thompson and among the other coaches that say, let's get into a real-world situation here, because it is a proven fact that the minorities do not score as well on the test scores as the non-minorities, and particularly the socioeconomic class that's going to be affected greatly by this ruling.
Well, certainly John Thompson's protest has worked because we are here talking about it. What's going to be the impact now? Will the rule be changed, do you think?
I certainly think that dialogue will begin, and I would certainly hope that the rule would be changed to be much fairer for all student athletes, and for that matter, fairer for all students, period.
All right, Billy, thank you for joining us. You can take a break now. We'll have more on the road to the Final Four after this. Stay with us.
You got all the right moves, and you handle them well. You got taste, I can tell, by your slit, small, thicker bowl, with smoothness and strength, in perfect harmony, like the brew that you drink. Yeah, that's his quality. Slit, small, liquor bowl.
Cross the road to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Burgers don't have it, pizzas don't have it, only one place has it.
Cross the road to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Only Kentucky Fried Chicken has the Colonel's original recipe of 11 herbs and spices. So when you want that one and only taste, come on over to our side of the road.
Cross the road to Kentucky Fried Chicken, yeah. Cross the road, cross the road.
There's something new out there. For all of you, the truck for 89. The all-new Toyota 4x2 Extra Cab SR5. Now available V6 power. Real backseat space. And a new look that can only say one thing. Toyota quality.
Got it all now.
Toyota, who could ask for anything more?
With it, you can communicate instantly with anyone virtually anywhere in the world. With it, you can save time and money. Without it, you're just not dressed for business. The MCI card. It is America's business card.
We started 5 cars with one 2-year-old Die-Hard battery and 1 car at 30 below after 8 hours in a cold room. Today's Die-Hard, with power to start your car and a whole lot more.
And welcome back to New York City. I'm Pat O'Brien. We are about an hour away from the naming of John Madden's All-Madden team. That and the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship fight between Frankie Warren and Mickey Ward are next. And for a preview of that, let's switch to Atlantic City and my peripatetic colleague, Tim Ryan.
Well, you're looking at Irish Mickey Ward from Lowell, Massachusetts. Today he will challenge for the USBA Junior Welterweight crown, a title held by Frankie Warren from Corpus Christi, Texas. And also ahead on CBS Sports Sunday, the 5th All-Madden team. We're awaiting it with wild anticipation. And here's John with a preview of his squad.
Hi, I'm John Madden. And a little later, I'm going to introduce you to this year's All-Madden team. Now, what is the All-Madden team? Well, I'll tell you, it's a group of players that Pat Summerall and I watched play this year and enjoyed and thought that, boy, it'd be nice if we could get all these guys together on one team. So, what the heck? That's what we did. So stay around for the 5th annual All-Madden team coming up later.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I'm sure Frankie Warren, after his defense of his USBA crown, will be looking at the All-Madden team. He's lost only once. He defends his title against Mickey Ward, upcoming on CBS Sports Sunday. Right now, let's return you to New York and Pat O'Brien.
All right, Tim, Sports Sunday and the All-Madden team coming up after college basketball. And speaking of college basketball, we are headed back to Jim Nantz and Billy Packer in Pittsburgh. I'm Pat O'Brien. Thank you for joining us on the road to the Final Four. Enjoy the second half here on CBS after this message and a word from your local station.
After rigorous examination of the Mercedes-Benz 300E, one automotive journal concluded that it may be the best sedan in the world, and another journal called it a nearly spectacular mix of performance and practicality. The Mercedes-Benz 300E. Now that it's astonished the experts, let it astonish you.
Attention, all men with noses. Introducing Schick Slim Twin Disposable. It's 28% slimmer than Good News to give you a close shave even in hard-to-reach places. New Schick Slim Twin, preferred by men who have noses.
America's leading consumer products rating service says one battery, Megatron 34 from Interstate, tested best. It ran circles around better-known brands and won by a mile. Megatron 34 from Interstate. Ask for it.
Wednesday on The Equalizer, when the Godfather's son is kidnapped, McCall steps in to mediate.
This is a joke, right? Do you see anybody laughing?
Wednesday. This is CBS.
You've landed in another world. A world of alien creatures in exotic plumage, where sun worship is still practiced quite openly. TWA lands here over 25 times each day. A world called Florida, in the heart of TWA's solar system. Significant restrictions apply. Today's TWA.
Our son James got this Cutlass Supreme SL because it has FE3 suspension and because tests prove that the new T-Berg LX and Cougar LS just don't stop as fast. And James just loves a nice fast break.
This is not your mother's Oldsmobile.
Go for it, Mom.
This is the new generation of Olds. From your good old guy.
Bench Strength, Superior Court and People's Court, weekdays at 4.
CBS Sports coverage of college basketball is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. Engineered like no other car in the world. Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows. And by Budweiser and Bud Light, who will bring you Bud Bowl 1.
Well, the Pitt Panthers, 7-6 on the season, feature 5 sophomores in the starting lineup. The highlight of the season to this point was a couple of weeks ago. They knocked off third-ranked Syracuse. And here today, taking on now the third-ranked team in the country, Oklahoma. Pitt leads it at halftime by 6. What's been the story in the first half, Billy?
Well, Jim, I think they really offensively did a great job against the press. We're going to see right here, 4 across the lane. Now watch this pass from Miller coming across. A little bit of screening, a man breaking long right here. What happened for Pitt is they went on the offense against the defense. Watch the good screen, long passing, attacking the defense. And here we see Matthews taking it right on in against the great shot blocker Bell, but there was the man who was on the wing, Bobby Martin, breaking all the way down for the jam. The key to me in the game is the fact that Oklahoma's defense was not able to become their offense in that first half.
Oklahoma 13-1 on the season with an 11-game winning streak. Again, leading at one point in the first half by 10, 18-8, but once Pitt figured out how to break that press, they stormed back and took the lead, and they've been in control.
And for a team with 5 sophomores, it was very impressive that they would be able to do that.
Brian Shorter has 22 points, Billy, at halftime. The top man for the Panthers, along with 8 rebounds. The 0-0, Brian Shorter.
Oklahoma starts out in the zone, probably to protect Stacey King a little bit. They have Bell and King in the game at the same time.
The 3 by Matthews, coming up short, but Matthews retrieves it. Porter in the lane. And called for a charge. Halftime stats, Billy. Let's analyze them.
Well, the big stat to me coming up, we'll see front court scoring. Obviously, that's Shorter doing a great job on the inside. Oklahoma with Stacey King down somewhat. Look at how they went to the line. That's because they were so aggressive against the press. Mookie Blaylock having a super game, and as is Shorter. The other stat that's really important to me in that first half, Oklahoma normally has twice as many shots as a team like Pitt, but they didn't do it in the first half.
Stacey misses the one underneath.
Lost control of the ball a little bit because of that finger.
King saddled with 3 fouls, played 13 minutes in the first half and scored 10 points.
The 2-3 zone by Oklahoma to start the second half.
Porter a moment ago, Billy, that was his third on that charge.
Well, I think that the going the zone helps Pittsburgh a little bit because it slows down the tempo of the game, gives them some confidence, and keep Martin out of further foul trouble.
Long distance 3 by Miller. Martin jumped a little early, but Shorter gets the offensive rebound. Swinging it around. Matthews passes up the shot.
If they don't get some points on the board here quickly, you're going to see Brookin back into this ball game. I'd say by the next possession. A little triangle against that zone.
Vaughn Miller. Rebound Tyrone Jones.
And that's the man Oklahoma has to get off the snide.
King is wide open. Stacey King with 12.
Showing some token pressure here. A little zone token pressure. It was a 1-3-1. Stacey King fell asleep, didn't come up. The 1-3-1 half-court trap. Then they go back to their 2-3 zone.
Matthews takes the 3. Martin is going to be whistled for his third, crashing the offensive boards.
Shows how aggressive Oklahoma is and how talented they are. Martin was going up against Jones on that side. Comes Holmes in the ball game.
Kermit Holmes replacing Mike Bell. The Sooners today without Damon Patterson and William Davis. Both of them out with ankle injuries.
And both very talented players that make them even deeper. I think it's a wise substitution here by Billy Tubbs, because that way he can still have Bell with 3 and Stacey King with 3.
Nice move by Blaylock. He has 28 points. The lead's trimmed to 2, and a steal by Mullins. Almost a great save. Matthews picked it off.
Now here's that trap.
Shorter inside. And after missing their first 4 attempts of the second half, the Panthers get on the board for the second half.
Shorter just overpowered Jones.
King losing control. Wanted the foul.
I thought he got fouled, Jim. I thought he got it right on the arm. It's amazing to me that he can catch that ball inside with that finger. Here comes Brookin.
Rod Brookin, what a first half he had. 13 points, 4 rebounds. He comes in for Porter. Firing the 3, Oklahoma and Jones. Miller has it.
That's another smart play by Brookin, screening off for Miller to get Blaylock out of the way.
They take the 3. Stacey King. Blaylock, that's a 2. And Brookin with the rebound. Billy Tubbs jumped off of the chair for that one.
Brookin clean house with his upper body.
Matthews a 3. Six points for Matthews. 2 3-point buckets for Matthews, and it's a 7-point lead for the Panthers. King over Martin.
Again, Jim, you can see where Stacey King cannot use that index finger. It makes it very difficult, if anybody bumps him at all, to get off a good shot.
Oklahoma stays in the zone.
But the zone defense is helping Pitt play in a tempo game.
Blaylock blocks it from behind. 1-on-2. Blaylock will take it. Holmes coming down court. He'll shoot 2.
Now that was inexperienced by Bobby Martin. You don't want to pick up that cheap one inside when you have no chance to have an advantage on the block. But they called it on Brookin. That was a break for Pittsburgh.
That's the 3rd on Brookin. Holmes will shoot free throws. Brookin, because of his weight problem, has been, some say, the most maligned Pitt athlete since Dan Marino in his senior season. Marino had an off year as a quarterback. That's why he went late in the first round to Miami.
What was he, the 5th guy, the 5th quarterback?
That was the year of the quarterback.
Yep.
Exactly. 25th player chosen that year. Brookin quieting his critics today. Holmes misses them both. Martin pulls it down.
Let's see how long Oklahoma stays in this zone. I just have to believe they're better off attacking this team man-to-man.
Miller, three-point bucket.
And there again, it allows Pittsburgh to play their tempo. No pressure on the ball.
Largest lead of the day for Pitt. 10-point advantage. Holmes.
And there's Shorter's got to remember who he's guarding. He's not guarding Stacey King. He doesn't have to fight over the top quite that hard against a guy like Holmes.
The Pitt Panthers have a 10-point lead early in the second half.
Oh, Harold, it's lovely.
I hope you like it.
It reminds me of when we first got electric light back when I was a child.
Oh.
Daddy used to draw his chair up to that light and read to us. Oh, the memories. But Harold, this is the 80s. And I wanted a Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Kill the light, will you, Harold?
Oh, because everything else is just a light.
Even when all of Company B heads for the phone, it's no problem for Gail Godfrey.
Delta Airlines, Gail Godfrey.
Y'all fly to Lubbock, Texas?
Yes, that is confirmed.
I got some friends who want to talk to you now. Just hold on a second. Thank you. Cincinnati, Ohio. New York City. Monroe, Louisiana. Albuquerque, New Mexico. San Jose, California. Portland, Oregon. Butte, Montana.
You're all set. Thank you for calling, Delta.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Gail. Did you get many calls this afternoon?
One.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Once again, the automotive world is focusing on Mercedes-Benz because the engineers who created the 190 class and a whole new automotive category have just recreated it.
Give me 2,001 seconds.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz 190 class, the second generation.
Welcome back to Fitzgerald Fieldhouse on the Pitt campus. And Billy, Proposition 48 1 year later.
Well, you can see that some of the players are doing very well, particularly Liberty and Shorter. Liberty's stats not quite so high, but hey, that's a big rotation they have at Illinois. Jim, one thing I want to point out here, which backs up what John Chaney and John Thompson are saying, over 95% of the kids that are Prop 48 because of college sports become eligible after that first year. So the stats weigh against the vote that went down on these kids.
Oklahoma trailing by 10. Firing up a three is Mullins. Rebound by Brookin.
You see he used that wide body to block out again and sealed all the Oklahoma players. Billy Tubbs goes back to man-to-man. I think a real smart move here.
Pitt has a 10-rebound advantage on Oklahoma to this point.
Well, there's a couple of things helping on that. You have a guy like Jones who's a great outside shooter, not hitting today. Most of his shots are from way outside, therefore the rebounds are long. And those rebounds have been all captured by that Pitt guard combination.
Henry replaces Mullins. And Oklahoma now, as you mentioned, in the man-to-man.
Nuki Blaylock just staring things down. He wants a piece of something here. Almost got it.
Oh, what a pass. Bounce pass to Matthews. Follows.
Oh, quick off his feet. Matthews went to high school with Earl Duncan, who's transferred out of Syracuse, and Brian Williams, who transferred out of Maryland. Both highly heralded players. Matthews was not. Right now, he's having a better of it.
12-point lead, the Panthers' largest. Blaylock almost has it stolen away, but instead Miller will be whistled. Number 3 on him.
Another outstanding play by Brookin to anticipate the reverse dribble and come up on the weak side to help out. I would say Brookin's playing one of the smartest games I've seen in a long time. See that anticipation coming from the weak side? Just a great play by this young man. He may have been maligned about his weight, but I guarantee you he's playing well with his brain today.
Porter comes in for Matthews. Holmes goes out. Wiley in for the Sooners. Wiley from the free throw line.
Very unusual shot. Second one he's hit like that. There's nobody in this Oklahoma team that can't hit from the perimeter.
Oklahoma's just getting up on the full court pressure, Billy?
Well, I think that Pitt handled it so well and attacked them so well that it's not wise for them to keep it up. That's a good call.
Offensive. It's number 4 on Porter.
Great footwork with the defensive player.
Team fouls in the second half. 6 on Pitt, 0 for Oklahoma. Porter with 2 offensive fouls in the half. He'll go out. Matthews is in.
That double low by Oklahoma. They're just ignoring Stacey King.
There's King.
And did you notice again, Jim, when he shoots that little finger roll, since he doesn't have an index finger, he's lucky to get it to go anywhere near the basket.
Ball left his hand very early.
Sure did. He shoots it right off his palm. It's incredible he can do so well under those circumstances.
Shorter underneath.
Henry.
They tie him up. The possession arrow belongs to Oklahoma.
And there is a case of a properly called vertical situation in basketball. Henry kept his hands right up there and controlled that territory.
Wiley again, a little further out this time, Billy. And a 12-point lead is down to 6. 3 unanswered buckets by the Sooners.
And they made this run when they got out of that zone and started attacking them again on that man-to-man defense. So relentless. Basic offensive pattern.
Miller will set it up again. Using the screen from Martin. Brookin double team will put it up anyway. Wiley has it.
Stacey King run that floor.
Here's Jones. He's still cold. Bobby Martin with the rebound. Jones is 0 for 5 from the floor.
Bobby Martin is down to a trot right now. He's so tired.
Shorter gets fouled on the shot. Coming up next on CBS Sports Sunday, the Budweiser Boxing Series continues as Frankie Warren defends his USBA Junior Welterweight title. He'll take on Mickey Ward live from Atlantic City. Plus, it's the 5th annual All-Madden football team. After Sports Sunday, it's the NBA on CBS. The Celtics, will they watch Michael Jordan soar today? We will see later today on CBS. Shorter, it's the first free throw. He has 25, moving on in on a career high, which is 29 points. He has 26 and an 8-point lead for the Panthers.
I'd say it's as good a performance by anybody that had to sit out a year that I've seen. And there's King again with that great turnaround. They're starting to go to him more and more inside, puts a lot of pressure on Martin, who's really starting to drag. Boy, Miller really can handle that basketball.
All the way, Sean Miller.
What he is able to do to Blaylock.
King, no basket, offensive.
Stacey King can just not control the ball. You can see the finger right there, so well taped up. Looks at the official all the way back.
Billy Tubbs star, Stacey King has 4 fouls and his team is down 8.
You're looking sharp, you're looking good. You've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Father to son, it's what we've always done. Gillette.
The Gillette Atra Plus system with the Lubra Smooth Strip for the best a man can get.
Mercedes-Benz was devoted to automotive safety long before it became fashionable. Perhaps that's why this S-Class Mercedes had the best safety record in a recent insurance industry study. Possibly the ideal benefit from the car engineered like no other car in the world.
Football fans, Get ready for the battle of the century. As unbeaten Budweiser takes on undefeated Bud Light. It's Bud versus Bud Light in Bud Bowl 1.
Pick up your official scorecard wherever you see this display.
Hey, Bud, super idea. You see the neck on that guy?
Use it to follow the action and you could win. So get ready, get set. On January 22nd, Bud Bowl 1. This time, it's for real.
For one man, gravity is no problem. The Celtics battle the Bulls today.
The third-ranked Oklahoma Sooners, 13-1 on the year. In a fight today at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, the Sooners trailed by 6 at halftime, 55-49, and Pitt now leading by 8, just under 12 minutes to go for Billy Tubbs' team, and Stacey King has 4 personal fouls, Billy.
He has 4, which is really going to help out Pitt. It takes away some of his ability to run the court. He's got to be careful on defense. Now they've switched him over to Shorter. If Pitt sees this quickly, they ought to try to go to him, because Shorter's pretty tough getting the ball off inside.
Mookie Blaylock reaching in. That's his first. Blaylock got off to an unbelievable start today.
He really did, and you know, last year 150 steals. He and Ricky Grace put on a show.
Blaylock had 13 steals in one game this year against Loyola Marymount. That's an all-time record.
Tied is the record he already held at 13. Good dish. And there's the play I'm talking about.
To Shorter, and he traveled.
A great setup by Pittsburgh. Shorter ought to take his time and get King on his hip. You see it right here. The switch has been made, and I think, to be quite honest with you, I think Billy Tubbs ought to put King back on Martin, because Martin doesn't have as many moves inside as does Shorter.
Martin fronting, King knocks it away, and Pitt coming back. Miller calls for it. He gets it. And he calls a timeout. Double team baseline.
Well, that was a mistake by Miller to get that far down inside. He knows better than that.
CBS Sports coverage of NCAA basketball will continue after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
A short course in alpine skiing. Test drive the all-wheel drive BMW 325 iX at your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut BMW dealer. Car and Driver said, we hereby nominate the BMW 325 IS for permanent status in the Car Enthusiasts Hall of Fame. We just nominated for a test drive. When the chairman of Mack Trucks hits the road, who does he depend on for roadside assistance? AT&T. For operator services that go the distance, make sure you hear,
Thank you for using AT&T.
When the chairman of Nestle travels on business, who does he turn to in a crunch? AT&T. For the most reliable long-distance service, make sure you hear,
Thank you for using AT&T.
CBS Sports coverage of college basketball is sponsored by Budweiser and Bud Light, who will bring you Bud Bowl 1. Mitsubishi Motors, who invite you to come see the full line of cars and trucks. Mitsubishi's suddenly the obvious choice. And by Gillette and the Gillette Atra Plus shaving system. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Well, it's been a grueling stretch for the Pitt Panthers. 4 out of 5 games against teams in the top 10. They were trounced at Arizona, won at Syracuse, lost at Georgetown, and today Oklahoma. In a game summary, Sooners only 38% from the floor in the second half. Pitt has just totally dominated in front court scoring. A 30-plus advantage in that department. Blaylock setting a first half record here at the Fieldhouse. But it's an 8-point lead, getting near the 11-minute mark.
You know, that surprised me, because Don Hennon played in Pittsburgh. He was one of the all-time great scorers in college basketball. You'd have figured that he had a night that broke that 26.
Matthews misfires, King on the rebound. Andre Wiley, this has been his spot.
That's what, 3 or 4 from there, Jim? 3?
3 in the second half.
And he made 1 in the first half.
From behind, Blaylock gets the steal. He has Jones on the right, Wiley down the middle. He'll take it all the way, but Wiley follows up. And it's a 4-point lead now for Pitt that quickly.
Now here's where that timeout that Sean Miller had to take when he was trapped down inside really hurts Pitt. You don't want to take another one right now to break momentum. Go into Shorter to try to get rid of Stacey King. There it is.
There it is, Billy. Shorter has it.
Good play by Pittsburgh. Recognized it well. Set play. Puts Stacey King at a big disadvantage.
He just had to back off.
On the other hand, Shorter can rest defensively a little bit to help out.
That's a 3 for Blaylock. And it's a 3-point lead. The lead at one time was 12 for Pittsburgh.
From a total game standpoint, I don't know if I've seen a better guard than Mookie Blaylock in college basketball. He just does so many things.
You're talking about this year? Or?
You know, anytime. I just think that for his size, he's one of the great players I've ever seen.
Miller. Sean Miller answers right back with a 3 of his own. There's a steal by Brookin. Spinning free from Jones.
So Jones dragged him on the arm. It won't be a basket.
Fouled on the outside.
Jones is having a nightmare of a game.
Tyrone Jones, 4th personal foul. He was a player who Billy originally signed in 1984 with Kansas. He came in with the Danny Manning class, transferred to Hutchinson Junior College. He gives them 15 points a game, but in this contest, Jones
hasn't scored. I don't
he
believe.
Is scoreless.
Right.
0 for 5 from the floor.
And to tell you what, there's Brookin having a career. And to give you an example of what a great scorer Jones is, he's the all-time leading scorer at Hutchinson Junior College, and they've had some great ones there.
Rod Brookin was 16, and the lead is now 9 for back-to-back 3-point baskets.
Oklahoma's starting to show some signs of panic here.
King gets the position. Over Shorter now. The lead is at 7. And Oklahoma showing now that they're going to pick up.
And there they're playing that 1-4 against the press and then breaking people long. Ooh, dangerous pass.
Matthews on Mullins. Kavanaugh's in the game for Miller.
What you have here is Paul Evans just trying to keep Miller fresh. Good move inside again.
Shorter against King.
I don't think that's a good matchup for Oklahoma. They'd be much better putting King on Martin, who doesn't have that type of array of moves down inside.
And a steal.
Brookin again.
Brookin. Blaylock with the 3.
Oh, what a player. Sticks it right in your face.
But it's Rod Brookin who's breaking the hearts of Oklahoma.
Billy Tubbs has made the switch. He's putting King over now on Martin. That's a smart move. Puts Wiley down there on Shorter. And Wiley can battle Shorter inside.
Martin goes to the hoop.
I think we'll be seeing Mike Bell shortly, I would expect, to try to help defensively.
Andre Wiley with his 4th. Skeeter Henry comes in replacing Jones. Porter for the Panthers comes in for Brookin.
Boy, the fans are loving what Brookin has done today. It's a great ovation. Paul Evans challenged these fans. He said they were sitting on their hands in the BC game. They haven't been doing that today. As a matter of fact, they've been standing just about the whole game.
What have you thought of Bobby Martin's play?
Well,
Shoots another free throw.
He's played a great game defensively on Stacey King inside. He hasn't been able to do much offensively because that's where the emphasis has been. But I think defensively he's played extremely well.
Approaching the 7-minute mark. 9-point lead.
Kavanaugh getting right on Mookie Blaylock. That's a battle now.
Wiley again. He's given them a lift off the bench.
Well, I said they had 6 fellas that have scored 20 or more in a game. And you can see why they're so dangerous. It doesn't make any difference. It could be Wiley one game, and Jones, who hasn't done anything today, can do it the next.
Kavanaugh gets past Blaylock. Martin loses the handle, and Pitt still will retain the basketball. The foul situation. Oklahoma has 3 players with 4. Porter has 4 for the Panthers, who bring in Brookin, take out Martin.
So what Kavanaugh needs to do is when he beats Blaylock, it'll be smart to keep the ball out of his hands and take him away from Blaylock, but not to go down so far. Good in and out passing.
The 3 for Brookin. Not this time. King with the rebound. In underneath, King got free.
Now what happened on that was that they just took Martin out of the game, and nobody realized who was man was Stacey King, of all people to forget about.
Oklahoma within 5 now, and the Sooners take a timeout.
The AT&T Pebble Beach National Pro-Am in 2 weeks on CBS Sports.
You're looking sharp. You're looking good. You've come so far. And we know how to make the most of who you are. Where the race is run, you're the champion. Gillette.
The Gillette Atra Plus system with the Lubra Smooth Strip for the best a man can get.
Astronomers tell us there won't be a total eclipse in America until the year 2017. They are very much mistaken. This is the year of the eclipse. Introducing the Eclipse GS Turbo by Mitsubishi. Try not to stare.
Getting through college can be a pretty tough climb. To succeed, you need money, and you need the right abilities. You can find them both in the Army. If you qualify, you could earn more than $25,000 with the GI Bill and the Army College Fund. And you could develop the confidence, judgment, and self-discipline it takes to make it to the top, in college and beyond.
Jim, here's one of the fundamentals of basketball. When you replace somebody, find out who your man is. Now, Brookin came into the ball game for Bobby Martin. Stacey King was Martin's man. Watch what happens. Brookin, right here, will go on to take another man. Stacey King rolls right in easily for the basket. Brookin looking for a man. Shorter looking for a man. There's Stacey King, easy basket.
Pitt on a baseball pass to Shorter, scores at the other end. Shorter with a career high. He has 32 points. Blaylock short in the lane. King picks it up and scores.
And you can see Paul Evans has decided Shorter's the man to take Stacey King for a while. Good move by Brookin to move it over into his left hand. He felt Blaylock coming.
Kavanaugh stays in the game instead of Sean Miller.
Well, I think one of 2 things. Sean Miller had an upset stomach up at Syracuse. Maybe that's the case. We don't have any word on that. But what Paul Evans may be doing here is he wants him very fresh. Another great pass. Inadvertent whistle, but that basket should count. Yep.
He'll score the basket by Brookin. He has now a new season high of 20 points. And his career high was set 2 years ago against Oklahoma in the NCAA tournament when he had 23. So Rod Brookin, Brian Shorter with big afternoons.
See, and there's a case of just great follow-up by Henry. Shorter just too small for Stacey King. Another long pass.
2-on-1. Brookin takes on King. Shorter follows.
You know, I don't know how Brookin can have this much stamina carrying all that weight, but he's done it today.
Well, tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote. On 60 Minutes, the president talks about the first lady talks about the president, and they both talk about what they liked and didn't like during their 8 years in the White House. That's 60 Minutes tonight on CBS, followed by Murder, She Wrote and the CBS Sunday movie Unconquered.
That may be a good title for Ronald Reagan's presidency. Huh?
I'm not touching that one.
Oh, I like it. Unconquered. He's been a great man for this country.
Shorter hits 1 of 2. Blaylock with the 3. It's a 6-point lead, and Oklahoma came down and took the quick 3-point shot.
Kavanaugh ought to stay away from the ball. Just clear out and take Blaylock with him and let Jason Matthews handle it. He's going to get him in trouble.
Miller comes off the bench. He will be coming in momentarily.
I think Paul Evans feels that too. That's why he's getting Miller right back in here.
Kavanaugh on Blaylock. Blaylock almost gets it. Brookin in the corner.
It doesn't get any better than this in terms of a team playing their maximum efficiency.
Blaylock again misses a 3. Matthews out ahead.
Pass it back.
He's got 2 trailers.
He should have passed it back. He had a layup there for Martin.
How about the job by Mullins? He's the only man back. He stepped on the line.
Now here you see an easy fast break opportunity for Matthews. He's got 2 guys hustling. All he should do here is drop the ball back for a layup. He tried to make too difficult a shot. Mullins really battling on the defensive end.
So Sean Miller does indeed come in. He replaces Matthews, and Kavanaugh will stay in.
So it gives him 2 ball handlers. And now Mullins goes over on Kavanaugh, but you have arrested Sean Miller with Blaylock.
Shorter.
Stacey King can't do anything about it.
35.
35
for Shorter.
You know, Jim, we pick a player of the game every game.
How are you going to pick between Shorter and Brookin?
That's the point I was going to make right here. We haven't ever shared it, but I don't. Both of them have career-type ball games, but Brookin has done so many things from an intelligence standpoint in this game. That's the way I'm leaning.
Well, we have 3:49 left in the contest. Oklahoma down 11 with an 11-game win streak on the line for the Sooners. Mullins misses on the front end of the 1-and-1. Miller with the rebound. Kavanaugh pulls up and takes it.
That's not his shot. He did that in the first half as well.
Looking for King. Now it's Henry. King working on Martin. There'll be a foul on Henry.
Again, great defense.
Jim Nantz along with Billy Packer and third-ranked Oklahoma trailing by 11 as we approach the 3-minute mark. Sooners with 3 timeouts left, 2 for the Panthers. Both teams in the bonus. The possession arrow belongs to the Panthers. And Jones comes in for Skeeter Henry.
Well, Jones coming into the ball game, 3rd leading scorer for this ball club. That as many as 27 in a ball game, and averaging over 15 a game. Does not have a point today. And that really has hurt Oklahoma a great deal.
Again, he's 0 for 5 as Jones. Brookin now with 24, a new career high for Rod Brookin. And he gets the long rebound. Brookin was saying yesterday at practice that playing Oklahoma is like playing 5 world-class sprinters.
Well, he's been the marathon man today, right past those sprinters.
Very good.
Now he he's getting a little cute even with the ball. Little delay game. You notice how Pittsburgh has moved their offense up above the foul line, which opens up the opportunity for a backdoor cut. Down to 8.
Gotta get his shot off. Blaylock blocked it. Jones takes a 3. Wiley on the follow and a foul.
Wiley's having a big second half, but you can see how Jones was very tentative on that release of that jump shot.
Andre Wiley has made 6 of 6 from the floor in the second half. Jim Nantz along with Billy Packer from Pittsburgh. The 7-6 University of Pittsburgh Panthers leading 13-1 Oklahoma. 2:25 left, and it's a 3-point play now for Wiley, cutting it down to a 9-point difference.
And here's that box again by Pittsburgh against the press. They've been so effective going over the top and then attacking it immediately. Here they go again.
On the court for Pittsburgh, Miller, Matthews, Martin, Shorter, and Brookin. Underneath to Shorter.
And Jim, that's exactly what I was talking about. By pulling the offense up above the foul line, the backdoor cut was available. Shorter showing great strength in the catch as the ball came to him.
Andre Wiley with his 5th. He fouls out with 16 points, 13 in the second half.
It's been NCAA type intensity. And Jim, I want to point out something here. Whenever we have these intersectional battles, a club like the Big East right now could gain a great advantage when it comes NCAA tournament time to win a ball game like this against such a top intersectional opponent. And they've got some other games coming up. Syracuse at Notre Dame, same type of game. Villanova at Arizona. Huge games when it comes down to picking those teams for the tournament.
These games are a reflection on the conference. And Billy Tubbs came in here with a perfect 4-0 record against the Big East, including 2 wins against Pitt.
And 1 at the Dome up at Syracuse, which was a huge win a few years ago.
Ryan Shorter now just adding to his career afternoon.
You know what? For my vote, we're splitting that. No way I could not. No way. You couldn't say this guy doesn't deserve to be MVP of a lot of games.
All Madden team coming up next on CBS.
Kavanaugh just trying to hang on to Mookie Blaylock. Is he calling it a 2-shot intentional for hanging on to the jersey?
With that, Kavanaugh will sit down.
I guess he just called it 1-2. I thought he called it 2-shot technical.
Evans takes him out, brings in Matthews, but Kavanaugh got a lot of minutes here in the important time.
He did, and you really have to love what Paul Evans has been able to do with his substitution pattern today. Resting Martin when it was necessary in the first half, and Sean Miller.
7 for 7 from the line is Blaylock. 35 points for Blaylock. It's a career high for Mookie Blaylock.
And Jim, it doesn't look like Oklahoma, unless this game were to overtime, has a shot at 100 points. That would be 3 in a row.
Pittsburgh has not allowed a team to score 100 points since 1979. Blaylock with the 3 after the steal. Shorter came in, banged bodies with Holmes, and it's out of bounds, belonging to Oklahoma.
Not many times you see a sophomore wedge out veteran players like Shorter has today. He's got to be stronger than he even looks.
Jones still looking for his first field goal. Undered it with a lay-in by King and a timeout. 7-point lead for Pittsburgh with 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the contest.
What's that? He's got our flashlight. Over there.
Good monkey. But Ed said Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
It's so hard to get good help.
Astronomers tell us there won't be a total eclipse in America until the year 2017. They are very much mistaken. This is the year of the eclipse. Introducing the Eclipse GS Turbo by Mitsubishi. Try not to stare.
Odious, contemptible. I'm speaking of offending in the personal grooming arena. When seeking maximum protection and a fresh scent, one should grab Right God Sports Stick from Gillette. Antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized.
America's leading consumer products rating service says one battery, Megatron 34 from Interstate, tested best. It ran circles around better-known brands and won by a mile. Megatron 34 from Interstate. Ask for it.
They're all guts. They're all glory. They're all Madden. John Madden picks his Players of the Year, plus the USBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Next.
Only 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining from Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Pitt on the verge of upsetting a third-ranked team in the nation for the second time this year. Previously knocking off Syracuse when the Orangemen were ranked third. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Brookin runs the baseline.
Last time they did not guard the man taking it out of bounds, which changes the press a little bit. They've got to go over the top.
Outside, Tony Martin reaching in, almost knocking it away, getting the steal.
Points are not important here. The clock is the opponent for Oklahoma, and of course a teammate of Pitt at this point. They don't have to score, take it right down to the wire. Oh, a bad foul by Holmes.
12 seconds were left on the shot clock.
Why, certainly, you've got 12 seconds left on the clock. You've got Martin at a big disadvantage. 40 feet from the basket, you don't want to put him on the line.
Martin is a 67% free throw shooter. King comes in for Holmes. 7.7 rebounds for Bobby Martin, starting center for the Panthers. Filling the shoes, as you talked about earlier, of Charles Smith.
He did not start a game last year, but had good stats coming off the bench as a first reserve in that outstanding front line. Blossoming now into everything people expected of him. One of the most highly recruited players out of South Jersey ever. There's that controversy surrounding Paul Evans and Raleigh Massimino, but he seems very comfortable here.
Increase the lead to 9.
By the way, we ought to say congratulations to Raleigh Massimino.
Became a grandfather this morning.
And won 300 games.
Last night over previously unbeaten Providence. Blaylock's three-point shot. Picked up by Jones. Swatted away by Shorter.
No place for Brookins to go.
Brookin fouled by Mullins.
He challenged both Blaylock and Mullins.
And it's Pittsburgh moving in on 100 points. Jones with the 3.
He is 0 for
7 or 8.
0 for Pittsburgh is what he is.
0 for Allegheny.
I guarantee you. And considered the best perimeter shooter on the club.
Now, we were told yesterday at practice that he's a streak shooter.
Well, that's a bad streak then. You'd like to be a little bit more consistent with that.
It was a streak, all right.
Yep.
Now just 42 seconds remaining as Jones has fouled out of the game. Billy, I want you to talk about the Chevrolet players of the game.
Well, from a standpoint of Oklahoma, without question, it was Mookie Blaylock. Had a great first half, shattered the all-time record in this field house. And on the other side of the court, Brian Shorter was just sensational day in every respect, and we hated to have to just give it to one guy because Rod Brookin deserved it as well.
The Chevrolet most valuable players again. Mookie Blaylock from Oklahoma, Brian Shorter from Pittsburgh. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in their chosen field of endeavor.
Now, Pitt's living on that foul line, shooting over 75% on the day now. Bobby Martin starting to smile for the first time. Sang the national anthem
before one game.
Yep. If Brian Shorter would have done that today, that would have back been the circle.
King with the broken finger and all. Billy Tubbs loves that 100-point figure, and it might be Pittsburgh, not his Sooners, that will achieve it today.
Kavanaugh is so hard-nosed, sometimes he just gets a little stubborn out there. He had open men, and then he got mugged.
Coming up next on CBS Sports Sunday, the Budweiser Boxing Series continues. And All-Madden team. All-Madden team number 5. That'll be followed by, at 3:30 Eastern Time, the Bulls and Boston. Celtics and Chicago. NBA on CBS. Today. Kavanaugh comes up short.
They're going to have to put up some threes here, and there's Brookin again. They ought to carry him off on their shoulders today. Be a heavy weight, but he certainly deserves it.
Reach in.
Boy, and that is not a smart play. You don't want to commit a foul. You need to use that clock.
He wasn't thinking about getting the ball back by chance, would he?
I would
almost look like a deliberate foul, Billy.
Well,
99 points for Pittsburgh.
Al McGuire used to say a very smart thing. The object is to win the game. Forget about the 100 points. Sounds so simple, but that's the object. And you know what I like about Mookie Blaylock? He just came off, and I don't like basically that he cussed, but I like that he came off the foul line, and he is upset today. Here he has his all-time greatest game in scoring. He's mad because they didn't win the game. That's the kind of player who makes championship teams.
Well, it's like Stacey King told us. They've got unfinished business. They want to get back to the Final Four and make up for last year's loss to Kansas.
Well, you know who they have coming up, Kansas.
At Kansas on Wednesday. Final seconds, and Sean Miller will go to the line.
Well, Paul Evans has had some huge wins, including those at Navy with David Robinson, but this is one of his all-timers here.
Upset the third-ranked Oklahoma Sooners, 99-91.
For the pride, for the dream, for the love, for the team, for the sweat and for the drive, for the reason you strive.
For all you do, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
This Bud's for you. This Bud's for you.
All airplanes are created equal, built by the same people. But after they're built, something happens. People don't think of all airlines in the same way. Just look at all the business flyers that have flown with us over the years. Maybe it's that we fly to more business centers. Or maybe it's how we fly to more business centers. United, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Suns are rising, biscuits are baking, birds are singing, and you're just waking to the good time. Great taste, breakfast and morning play.
Good morning. Welcome to McDonald's.
The good time, great taste of McDonald's.
For Billy Packer, this is Jim Nantz saying so long from Pittsburgh, where our final score is Pittsburgh 99, third-ranked Oklahoma 91. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the NCAA Championship.